This is Adam King from Aliens Don't Ring Doorbells, and you're listening to Madness to Creation.
Go ahead, say it.
Welcome to the Madness to Creation podcast, where self-care and music merge. This is Maddie. How are you? I hope you enjoy the following episodes coming up. Adrian Gervitz, Fran of Light the Torch, Lawrence Gowan of the legendary band Styx, V of Violent Idols, and Never Loved. At this show, we focus on mental health awareness with ending the stigma on mental health. Our goal and focus of this podcast is to touch people's hearts and to save lives. Studies have shown that 1 in 5 U.S. adults have experienced mental illness and 1 in 20 have experienced serious mental illness. We believe that the state of your mental health affects how you think, feel, and ultimately act. The more we talk about it, the more we can encourage people to address their mental health. If we help save one life through this, then it's worth it. We hope one day that people take it as seriously as we do when we have a physical ailment. Sometimes the topics we bring up are sensitive and might trigger the listener. This is why we have included timestamps in the episode description in case there is a part of the podcast you don't want to listen to. Or, of course, if there is only one part of the podcast you want to choose to listen to. No matter what, we love you for checking it out, and please give us feedback. We are working on setting up a Patreon, and we will have an announcement of said Patreon July 1st on Instagram TV. It would mean so much if you would support it. We are hoping to begin to have sponsors August 1st. Email us at madnesscreation@gmail.com with the subject line sponsorship if you are interested. We are also releasing a schedule July 1st to where you can find us easily. You can find us on Spotify, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, Geo7, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Podchaser, and Podcast Addict. And for algorithm purposes, we would love you forever if you would choose to follow us on one of those platforms. It would help the algorithms. On that note, be safe, be well, and be balanced. Take it away, peoples. Welcome to the Madness to Creation podcast, where self-care and music merge. This is Maddie. How are you? Hopefully you guys are having an excellent week, and we are having an awesome week because we have Cameron Knopp of alternative rock band Never Loved. Cameron, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, Matt? I'm doing great, man. It's a pleasure to be on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how is your week going so far? Like, you guys recently released an album on May 14th and all that. So, tell us about that and just how has the response been so far?
It's been amazing. We've been sitting on this album for so long. We recorded it before the pandemic started in January 2020. So for it to finally come out feels amazing. But the response has been great. Obviously it's always like a nerve-wracking thing releasing new music, but it's been awesome seeing everybody enjoy it and be into it. Yeah, absolutely. And so like you guys recently released last month a video that when I first heard the video, and I confess I finally heard the video this afternoon, called On and On It Goes, I immediately started hand clapping, and it just has this absolutely fun, sunny vibe and all that. So how did you guys come together with that song and that music video? Oh, well, thank you so much. And I'm glad you caught the sunny vibes. We try to like incorporate some sun into the music, that Florida vibe here and there. Well, we actually wrote that song with Nicholas Wheeler from the All American Rejects. We were going up to meet a tour. We were going on tour in October of 2019, which feels like ages ago. We were going to meet up with a couple bands. They're already on tour. We're going to meet them in the Chicago date and do like a leg of it. But right on the way to Chicago is Nashville, and that's where Nick lives. So we wrote a song before that together, and we figured, oh, cool, we're gonna be passing through. Let's stop in and write a tune because we knew we were going to record the record soon. Mm-hmm. So we spent a couple days with him there and wrote that song. And then the video is kind of like just an exaggeration of the song itself. It revolves around a relationship where people aren't really seeing eye to eye, and we figured what better way to, make it into a fun video. I like horror movies and like fun, like fun horror movies too. So we figured it'd be kind of funny if, the way that they don't see eye to eye is one's a cannibal and one is just trying to hey, I'm just trying to put up with this. But that was kind of like the inspo is, us like loving horror movies and make like a fun, sarcastic twist on the song itself.
That is so cool. And I feel like in horror movies, there's always the stereotypical character of the female that can't find her way out and all that stuff, and just everything else going on with it. What are some of your like favorite horror movies? And if you could be casted in any horror movie, which one would you be in? And would you play the villain or would you play the victim?
That's kind of hard because like, well, let me start with some of my favorite horror movies. I really like Sinister. That's a good one. Jennifer's Body might be one of my favorites, even though it's not so like horror-esque, but it is. Jennifer's Body, Sinister. I really love, oh my God, it's at the tip of my tongue. Halloween, the OG. I also love the Rob Zombie remakes. The Rob Zombie remakes are incredible too. I'm missing one right now. Oh, 28 Days Later is one too. Another great one. Nice. And then The Conjuring, OG Conjuring.
Oh, The Conjuring is amazing. Yeah, I like Poltergeist, and I can't think of the one where it has like, looks like a bunch of needles in his head, but I like that one for some reason. Gosh, what was that one called? But
Hellraiser.
Yes, Hellraiser. That's right. A good one too.
I haven't seen that one. I think I got to watch that one after the episode now.
Yeah, it's very much a combination of a psychological thriller, and it's a little bit on the cheesy side, and yet it kind of scares the shit out of you. So it's just kind of it takes you on so many twists and turns. And like, who are some of like your favorite actors and actresses? And if you could play any role in the horror movie, what role would you play? Like, would you be the villain, or would you be like the good guy, or what would you be?
It would have to, man. That's a really good question, because it's like, obviously you don't want to be the villain. It's the last thing I'd want to do. I mean, I listed off a couple of my favorite ones, but most horror movies don't end well.
That's right.
So it's kind of like this. Well, I mean, like, I don't know. Jennifer's Body. Maybe because Jennifer's Body doesn't end well either. That's kind of tough. I don't know. Let's see. We got you don't want to kill people, obviously. You don't want to be like the villain, but you don't want to be like the person who gets killed. Who's like the person that's just kind of like eating a donut in the background? Like, that's what I would want to be. Like the gas station clerk that's like, don't go down that way, and then like I just go home. I'm like, I'm not involved with this at all.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you said that, because my grandfather, who passed away about 5 or 6 years ago, was actually in a horror movie. And I don't know if you remember the TV show on USA called Swamp Thing.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it personally.
Oh, it's super cheesy. It's like a super cheesy TV show. It was very popular in the 90s. All he had was a role where he was just a walk-on person, but he would brag until death, like, yeah, I'm a TV star and all that. And all he did was just walk through a scene, and that was it. So
he's got the easiest job. He gets to, he's got the perks of it. Not many lines, doesn't get killed in the movie. So,
Yeah, definitely. And I think I would be like, I don't know. I think there's a part of me that would want to save the day, but there's also the part of me that, I don't know, would be the one to escape it or whatever, just for the thrill of not getting killed or something like that. So,
yeah.
So like, I was gonna say, I know, like, before quarantine, you guys were going to tour with Armor for Sleep. Is that tour still happening, or are you guys going to link up with them, or any updates on that?
So, no, it is. And it's ironic because you're asking like, oh, how's this week been? Like this week has actually been really busy with getting everything together for that tour. And now that we know it's happening. So it got rescheduled to fall of this year. The first date of that tour being August 27th, which kicks off in Houston, if I'm not mistaken. And then it wraps up here in Orlando on December 12th, which is a blessing. I can't remember the last time a tour has ever finished in South Florida. Actually, our last tour finished. Well, it didn't finish in South Florida. We just, our leg of it finished not South Florida, but Orlando. So it worked out nice. But it is stretched out. It's not like a consecutive, 4 months on the road. There's a couple legs on it, but they got moved to this fall, and it's thank God, we've been waiting for that tour for a while. Like Armor for Sleep for me is personally one of my favorite bands. So when we first got that tour, I was like, oh my gosh. And then, I got with COVID, and then it just kept getting moved back. So, there's definitely some points where I'm like, man, this sucks. Like it was like right there. And, obviously it's better to do it when everything's safe and everyone can enjoy a show without having to worry about getting sick. But it is amazing to finally be able to, say that it is happening and it's not too far away after anticipating it for so long, what it feels like at this point.
Yeah, and several questions come to mind when you bring that up. Like, how cool is it that you get to provide direct support for one of your favorite bands of all time? Like, not everybody can say that. And, yeah.
Yeah, because you think like we get that tour where like the opener 104 and everyone's still like coming in from happy hour to outside during their smoke break. No, like we're right there before Armor for Sleep goes on, which is awesome. And it's surreal. It's a fun story is back when we first showcased for Equal Vision, which was about, I think it was like later 2018. One of the first things I brought up was like, holy fuck, Armor for Sleep was on Equal Vision. And I think it's one of my favorite albums of all time, one of my favorite bands. And and we talked about Armor, and every time we'd go to their office and on tour, we'd pass through and stop in and see everybody. Someone there would have something from Armor, like whether it's like a CD or like a limited vinyl or like a cassette tape or a hoodie. It would always be like this, oh, look, I had this, like, say this one Armor item for you. And then, it kind of just materialized. Like I'd have a running joke, like, yeah, if they ever get back together for a tour, what's up? Like joking around. And then like, it just kind of, sure enough, here we are. So I guess it manifested well, to say the least.
Absolutely. And how cool is that? Like it kind of one of those things we talk about in the podcast is like, as you said, manifest itself, speaking things to existence, and just having that positive lifestyle. And what are some things that you do in your life to promote that, promote a positive lifestyle for yourself or for others? That's a great question. I think it's a lot of, it's especially, I think with 2020, that was a really hard year for everybody. It's easy to kind of forget things, but for me, it's so easy to get caught up, in so much. But if you just kind of stop and like look around and just like really like count your blessings and be grateful for what you do have and kind of just be thankful, it could always be worse. And like, like when we were in 2020 and it was COVID and, quarantine and all this, like, what if it's still like, I think just being grateful, trying to be grateful, for what you do have helps. And it's easy to like forget that because, you're so caught up in life always has so much going on and there's always so much to do, so much you have to do. So I think if you just stop and kind of like, cool, you know what, I do have this, like, I'm grateful for that. It definitely helps. Yeah. So few things I'm grateful for is like, naturally, I'm grateful for my family and just having a job and stuff like that. I am a special needs teacher by day. And I'm grateful for my students. My mother's a teacher as well. That's so cool. Oh, that is so cool. And it's been a challenging year with COVID, as you said, and everything like that. So tell me a few things that you wake up and you're just like, you just count your blessings and that you are so grateful for.
I mean, like I said, I have a healthy family. I have my parents, my brother, I have Equal Vision, a band that's on Equal Vision. So much like exciting things on the horizon. I'm healthy. Like it's just the little things. I have a amazing, supportive, loving girlfriend. I have great friends. Like it's just the little things, man. Like it's easy to, someone like myself is always pushing myself to achieve more and get more done and all that. You kind of get tangled up in that sometimes, but. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have families or don't have, they could always be worse. And it's important to kind of just stop and appreciate what you have in front of you.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I couldn't have said that better myself. And one thing I was going to say, kind of go back to the Armor for Sleep question. Kind of one of the things that we talk about is like, what is the soundtrack to your life? And naturally, Armor for Sleep came up, and can you tell us a few songs that that has that Armor for Sleep has put out that has gotten you through, or like it, or an album, or what is it about their music that you love so much?
You know, it's interesting. From like a musician, like it's not like I necessarily relate to it lyrically. It is what I love about that record too. Like, What to Do When You're Dead would be one of those albums, my favorite, which is the one we're supporting for, or direct support for. But it's a great concept record, and I just appreciate it from like a artist and a musician and a writer standpoint. Like, it's just such a complete body of work, and like I just always loved the tunes, and I first came across it way after it was released. I want to say like 2014, and that album came out in 2005. I just kind of heard Car in the Water and was like hooked, and then checked out the record, and listening to music that I enjoy like inspires me to be like, oh, I want to write, not necessarily like that, but it's just like,
for sure,
people are capable of putting out amazing work, and like just makes you want to like go in and do what you can too. But some songs I love off that record would be Car in the Water, Very Invisible, which is like a bonus track. Truth About Heaven's a great one. Stay on the Ground, and then Basement Ghost is really cool too. I've just always, I know it's so cool. I've always loved like albums that you can kind of just put on when you're driving at night, and on the highway. And that's like definitely one of those records.
Yeah, that is just kind of one of the most liberating things, is just being able to just get out, let your hair down, so to speak, and just get out and just listen to the music, And what are like some music that you listen to right now? Like, what is in your stereo? What's on your Spotify playlist?
I'll tell you right now. Let me go see. I have a playlist that's called Fucks. Excuse my French, but it's just music that like fucks, I don't know. Like I listen. I bounce around a lot. But some tunes that have been like, and like I'll revisit stuff too. It just depends. Like lately, I've been listening to a lot of Block Party.
Okay.
Let's see. The new Royal Blood record's really good. I've revisited my love for Third Eye Blind. What else is in here? Pinkerton's Weezer, or Weezer's Pinkerton. Phoenix is in there too.
Okay.
What else is on here? Some Deftones. Like I said, I'm all over. Some Cage Elephant too. Just whatever the mood of the day is, or whatever just like comes on. Usually I'll just shuffle stuff that's like in my radius of like what I like, and I don't know what I want to listen to, and something comes on, I'm like, I feel like listening to this today, and just kind of let it roll.
I just got to say, how freaking good are the Deftones?
Oh man, amazing. Incredible band. One band I still haven't seen live, sadly, but hopefully that changes sooner than later.
Yeah, and if you watch Deftones, if you ever get a chance to see Deftones live, and maybe someday you can play a show with them, and that'd be sick. But
yeah, right. Fuck.
One thing you should do is just watch Abe Cunningham on the drums. That guy is a beast on the drums. So like in your in terms of your musicianship and everything like that, what are some things that you learned from, say, a couple years ago when you had the song called Goddamn to On and On It Goes? What are some things that you have taught yourself as a musician and everything like that you continue to take with you? What are a couple of things that you feel you need to work on?
Yeah, that's a great question too. We wrote Goddamn a long time, like that must have been, we recorded the EP in late 2019, so like early 18. I think something I've learned a little since then, even a little like after On and On too, because again, we wrote that song a little bit back, is kind of just honing in on like what makes us, and kind of just trying to, I guess, lock in or strengthen what we do best as a band and artist, because I think there's certain things that we do that make us lost. And I think there is like a correlation in Goddamn and On It Goes with that, as opposed to maybe some of the other songs that we've done before. So, you know, and obviously I think too is making sure a song is just like authentic. And by that, I mean, you know, Goddamn and On were both one of those songs that kind of just came out quick. And by that, I mean, like we didn't think too hard about it. We sat down, wrote it, and it just kind of flowed, you know. And there'd be times where we try to work on songs that didn't necessarily have that. Like it would just be like, let's sit down. And it just felt like you kind of hit a dead end, and you kind of just try like doing a lot to make it work. You know, I think from Goddamn to now, I've learned that just, you know, if an idea is not flowing, just like let it be and just move on to the next. And if it finds its way back, cool, kind of thing. Because Goddamn was one of those songs that came effortlessly. Well, compared to other songs, not like effortlessly. And same with On It Goes. But the key difference though too is I think melody work would be another thing. You know, we wrote On It Goes. I was more keen on how the melodies work and where they go and where they travel, and you know, a little more, I guess, scientific about it. Like, oh, this melody drops, it goes down here. Let's have it go up there. Because, you know, and Goddamn, I wasn't really thinking about any of that.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great answer. And so, like, just kind of a few more questions I have for you. Like, in terms of Equal Vision Records, like, kind of like the trend. I don't want to say if it's the trend or not, but a lot of, like, Nonpoint, for example, started their own record company called 361 Records, and some bands have gone indie. What has had a label backing done for you as a band? Like, what is your relationship like with Equal Vision Records? I imagine it's a fantastic relationship because they have such a great reputation.
You know, it doesn't feel like a label most of the time. You know, we're really close with our A&R. We're really close with everybody there. And it's just been nothing but amazing. And they've been nothing but incredible to us and put us in so many positions to succeed. And, you know, without, I don't know where we would be. They've definitely been there for us and have found ways to push. I mean, you know, we got Armor for Sleep. Like, we're on the Armor tour. I don't know if we weren't on Equal Vision. I mean, obviously there's more that goes into it, but they definitely played a part. They've been really supportive, and they've kind of let us run free with creativity, which is really important too. Like, you know, they don't tell us, oh, you need to sound like that, or you need to do this or that. It's just, we have, you know, hey, let's do some demos for the record, and, you know, they have their 2 cents and opinions. But I think the biggest thing about Equal Vision is, and also what they stand for too, but, you know, they let their artists be themselves, which is really cool. I mean, I feel like,
well, that's sick.
Not a lot of labels are like that. You know, I could be wrong. I don't have experience, but, you know, you always hear stories from other people that are like, oh yeah, you know, they were controlling or this, that. Equal Vision's never been like that. And it's just felt more like a family, to be honest, than like, oh, a record label.
Yeah, that is so sick. And kind of the other thing I want to talk about is the music video for Over It, and which is naturally your album title. Kind of, first of all, just kind of play on with the question. What are a couple of things that make you say, man, I'm over it? And just take us into the single while you're at it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, life throws shit at you sometimes, and you're just like, fucking A, you know, like it's not like you're just, I don't know, there's shit that comes up, and you're like, just fucking deep style, like, God damn it. And like, for me, it's like, when stuff like that happens, there's like a split second where I'm like, okay, just like, you know, that slight, like I get kind of caught up in it, but then I kind of just take a step back. I'm like, well, like, you're gonna get through this, and like, whatever something throws at you, it's like, just, you're not even gonna remember this in like a year. And like, Over It's just kind of like not a mockery, but just like I'm kind of over this, like, you know, like the lyric, like, stuck in my bed kind of wishing I was dead. Like, I don't wish I was dead, but I'm just like, fuck my life, you know. Sometimes life throws shit at you, and with Over It, we kind of wanted to just like convey that again in like more of a sarcastic way. Yeah, I think humor and mocking things that are serious kind of lightens the mood a little bit. And with Over It, you know, we're kind of like playing tightroom, and and annoyed, and then eventually like, fuck this, and break the room down, and the whole fire stuff happens. But it's more so just like supposed to convey the vibe of like sometimes you do have that off day that kind of just gets under your skin. And Over It was written, I forgot where I was, I don't know where I go, but I remember like a melody kind of hit my head. I voice noted it down, like my voice memos, it sounded like a dying mouse because I was trying to be quiet, but then I remembered like, oh, that's what I was trying to do. And then I went and like pre-put it out, and we brought it to the studio. But you know, the song kind of revolves around when you feel a type of way about something, or something that like something sucks, and you know, you're just not in the mood for it. But you know, eventually kind of like it'll pass and you kind of get through it.
Oh, definitely. And for our listeners, it's just so important to realize that you can overcome, and that you're able to persevere. Whatever life throws at you, it always gets better. You know, I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, exactly. And like for us, or at least me personally, some of the songs, like a lot of it does sound extreme. Like when you read it on paper, it's like, whoa. Like I remember we released a song called Where Do I Go From Here, and someone texted me like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm good. It's just like, you know, sometimes you like to, I don't write that song sometimes in that moment. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But like looking back at it, you know, I kind of like to mock it. Like it's like, you know, when you're like, it's like a fuck you to the bad vibes almost. Like I kind of like, I don't like that shit to get to me.